Welcome back to another video. What I'm going to be doing in this episode is defending Donostica. I'm getting attacked by the Khuzaits and the Azurai at the same time. So I'm choosing to break in because defending is a lot easier than an open battle. And these guys got a lot of muskets and fire arrows. So if you're new to the channel, what I've done here is I've overhauled my entire troop tree, at least most of it, with my little warband and modded items. So Khuzait has been changed into this Asian dynasty tree. What I've done is I've taken inspiration from other games like Age of Empires 3, which was a game I played a lot when I was younger. And in that game, there was both an Asian expansion as well as a war chief expansion for America, and it revolved around like kind of this Napoleonic era, musket era battles. So anyway, I've taken a lot of inspiration from that, but another one of my favorites was Diablo. And so what I've done is for my companions and my character, I've turned them into like superhumans, similar to the Diablo cast. We have, you know, characters like the Barbarian, Amazons, and Sorceresses. My troop tree also kind of resembles one of the Total Warhammer rosters, the one that kind of had more historical inspired characters. Right? Nothing here is going to be perfect. It's just supposed to look recognizable. We got some English and some Azurai. There's a Roman troop over there. So the troops, I mean, I didn't look up the exact armors and the exact weaponry. I just gave them something that made them stand out. Some troops you may recognize from things like Lord of the Rings and Elden Ring. There's also elves and like mystical ghoul type characters. And the reason I did that is because I need characters for my guy to fight. Like essentially what I did was I increased the gap between low tier and high tier troops. And I can run into bosses on the field. There's some tier 6 troops that are basically stronger than my character, even though my character is completely maxed out. And look at these fire arrows. I don't know, to me, this just looks chaotic, and it makes the battlefields a lot more crazy when we mix the eras. We're mixing the castle sieges like the Napoleonic warfare with cannons and rifles. It really mixes it up. It's still Bannerlord, but we just got like a whole new, it's just enhanced. It's a whole new troop tree. So I got this thing called Super Spear, which is basically a ballista spear. And as you can see, it'll go through 4 enemies. Sometimes I add the lightning bolt jab to it. So what happens is when I add cannons to the map for my Napoleonic warfare characters, it overrides my ballista spears and they turn into lightning javelins. But sometimes I turn it off. My character also has fire sword. And I think this time I'm playing on easy, not very easy, but it's reduced to 50% because I've been fighting thousands and thousands of these troops, wave after wave, army after army, and people just keep declaring war on me. And basically what I did was I left my previous base because I had so many fights with the Empire and Valandia that I was starting to get bored, and I've never met the Azurai until recently. Well, at the moment I'm at war with Khuzaits and Azurai. Oh shit, I better cover these guys. We got a door jam here. So that's kind of why there's so many weird troops from every era, from every culture. It's like, picture they all died, right? Because that's the only thing. Everybody has died and they all spawned in at the same place, which is like a realm like Narnia. And all these historical characters have started a fellowship like Lord of the Rings, right? Like those 4 kids from Narnia, or like the Fellowship. Merlin the Wizard is like our Gandalf, and he gathered the Fellowship. So the main core, the core Fellowship group are real characters. You know, a lot of them kind of revolve around like prophecies and stuff, so it kind of makes it easy to blend them into this fantasy realm. So the main 4 was Merlin, Hercules, King Arthur, and Joan of Arc. Those are the 4 that started down the yellow brick road of Calradia. And that's funny, we got the Lion and the Tin Man and Dorothy. And then a wizard. Yeah, look how tough this guy is here. Like, they don't even budge when you hit them. And that'll do it. Let's get a peek at some of these troops. So the Azurai have natives they can recruit, similar to Age of Empires. War chiefs, and I think I mentioned that already, but I like to kind of take inspiration from some of my favorite classic games, and Bannerlord here has got to be one of my favorite. Actually, it's always my top 2. Once in a while another game will compete for the position of my favorite, but and I also got Bannerlord on console, but I shared this because it's a lot more unique, a lot more fun for me to play too as well. There's nothing special here. What I'm doing is just setting up my bowmen so they can shoot at the troops on the wall, and I'm getting my guys ready here at the bottom of the stairs. Because we have muskets and meteor arrows and ballista arrows, I don't put all my troops on the wall, so that's a good way to lose a whole lot of guys. So what I do is I let the automatic bowmen take over for the first bit. I'm just trying to spread these guys out here. I'm gonna turn the difficulty up to normal. The only reason I got it turned up to 50% is because I would not have the stamina to keep fighting. My troops would get depleted and I wouldn't be able to get my kingdom started. And for the sake of the series, I gotta get things moving, so look at this. Let's get a faraway view of this battle. Yeah, look how epic this is. Like, to me, this is just this is awesome. Cinematically and to play on this, like when you're on the wall shooting back and forth, it's a little bit more intense. And let's get into the battle here. I took off the reticle to make it harder for me because my spear is so powerful. And it looks a little better cinematically too. Like, that's why I took off all my UI. I don't generally like having too much. You get used to it after a while, like not seeing your damage. But you get a little sound effect when you get a kill, so you can tell. I also shortened in the corner there. You can see I have a mod that shortened the what would I call that? The score streak up there in the corner. That's not what that's called. The kill log, I guess. Yeah, the kill log I made shorter. I took away my own damage meter in the middle. It's just to make it look a little more, yeah, a little more cinematic for the series. I prefer to play like this too. The only hard part is sometimes trying to figure out which army I'm controlling, if that makes sense. You got to start remembering your units and where they are, what number they are, which also just kind of makes it a little more fun for me. I do enjoy kind of using techniques and historical formations and things. I just prefer it. Oh no, I killed Crazy Horse. I just prefer it in this fantasy setting with all these different troops, and I think honestly I just wasn't able to make up my mind, and I just threw everything at this one playthrough. I had these ideas like I was gonna do all these different ones, but it just wasn't possible, so I said, well, let's just make something with no limits. And it seems a lot of people don't like it. I mean, I get bombed with dislikes, and I don't know if it's the female troops. I try, that's why I put it in the thumbnail, so it's like a warning to people. But it seems though people will click just to dislike. And I don't know if it's because of that or what. But it is what it is. The female troops is just like a small part of the whole tree, and I just wanted it to resemble older games. Something like Conan the Barbarian. When I was younger, games used to be a lot more dark and gritty. Oops, that was a mistake. But oh well. Shield bash this guy. Ah, you fool! Die, you bastard! Look at that long pike on the ground. Let's get a look at some of these troops. The assassins get a lot of kills. Dang, 160. Well, more or less going to be doing the same thing again here. Not doing anything special here, just setting up the same thing. I'm gonna go mic out until the battle starts. Alright, let's zoom out and get another view. Just gonna try to get a good static position here for a minute. Oh, look at that. Looks like they're getting a few shots in too. See if they take down... Dude, they got a ballista or is that... or catapult? Yeah, they got a catapult. They also got a few mage archers by the looks of it. Alright, let's get in on the battle. If anybody's wondering what that soundtrack is, that's Act 2 from Diablo 2, Lutgolin. Like I was saying, Diablo is one of my favorite games. So what I was trying to do was, like my character Hercules is basically like a barbarian. And he's got a whole army of Amazons. And then we got a few sorcerers. But I wanted to make it like, basically like having a Diablo character enter the battlefield on Age of Empires. Or Total Warhammer, whatever RTS game you can imagine. Get some! Get some! Now that I got some high tier troops, it's starting to get a little easier. As you can see, those samurai can really hold down those ladders. In those one-on-one battles, it's almost easy for the samurai. Like I was saying, when you got high tier troops versus low tier, those low tier troops really don't stand much of a chance. As they shouldn't against fully armored troops. But then we have legendary type characters as well, not just high tier warriors. I'm just gonna sim this one. That guy was like Farquaad, that short guy. Definitely gonna increase the relations with her. I still haven't found myself a wife yet. Haven't really had time. I started off like with my adventures and then I got right into non-stop wars since then. Part of it I think is this diplomacy, the mod. So as you can see, we get lots of the modded items too from the modded troops. I don't like messing with the inventory too much, so I'll just pick and choose a few things whenever I get to this part. Inventory management's never been my favorite thing on games, so what I do is just cherry pick what I want. Try to make it quick. Here's a little display of a bunch of different troops. You can see a lot of different kinds. So hopefully I get into some more open battles and I can share some of my strategies. I don't have a whole lot that I use. When I first started, I had like 3, which was a hit and run, a Sun Tzu arrow trap, and then I would use a shield wall. I'd have this kind of trick where I would use shield wall or F1, which is loose formation, and charge. And what I would do is kind of alternate between the 3 in a parallel line. So you tell them shield wall, you wait till the enemy hits you, and then I might hit charge or loose formation. And then I'd line them up again when they're done before they get too spread out too far, you know what I mean? But recently I've been watching this guy, Tactical Enlightenment, and I've picked up a couple new strategies. And not just like strategies, but how to approach the battles and not rush into them. So search him on YouTube if you're wanting to learn how to use formations. I'm not going to be the best for showing you that, but I will try to explain the few that I do have. The techniques I stole from him are this thing called the peekaboo ridge, and it's where you hide behind a ridge so you don't get hit with arrows, and as the enemy comes over the ridge you light them up and you fight them. It's a pretty decent strategy when the terrain allows it. He also covers this thing called the kill box, which I have not used yet, but maybe one day. I try to look up some like historical formations to get ideas. Use a lot of pike squares. I'm not a historian as far as like designing these troops or setting up formations. I just kind of like battles, so I'm more into movies, I guess, than history, which is why things have turned into the Wizard of Oz here. I mean, I like movies more like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, you know, Terminator, Matrix, those kind of things. A lot of them kind of have the same setup, you know, they're about military leaders or, you know, prophecy, chosen ones, rabbit holes, you know, that type of thing. Sci-fi, fantasy. But I appreciate the different eras too. And I get into a little bit of the war stuff. You know, one of my favorite shows to watch for Bannerlord is this show called Deadliest Warrior. Because they do break down the techniques of the characters, and they'll pick a few battles and talk about how those battles went. And then they do testing. So I've picked up a few things. I picked up the hit and run, how to do that, which works as a solo. It works with archers or it works with melee cavalry. in the Sun Tzu arrow trap, what you do is maybe I'll have to share it once once the terrain is available. Look at all the different troops here. So my fellowship is like, the main core is like, we got like 12 historical / mythological type characters, and then the rest are like just generic Amazons. And basically I just got them so I can give them like, they're basically just enhanced Amazons that I can give enchanted weapons to. Okay, well, let's get this set up here. I outnumber the troops, or the enemy, so it doesn't really matter what I do here. I got the battle up to 1,000 troops at a time. I made a video and I shared kind of how I tweak my settings. If you're wondering, it's one of my, it might be my last video or one of my last 2 videos. But it's in the scale, the resolution scale is how you, and the sharpen effect, you can really turn those down quite a bit. And it all depends though. I prefer to have just smooth gameplay. I get really mad when it drops frame rate. So I sacrifice my graphics to have giant battles, giant smooth battles. But I tweak them around sometimes. You see, things like this take a lot of GPU, so I gotta turn my settings down. It's kind of a trade-off. But look at this, I mean, you can't help but appreciate all them fire arrows. Some days I'm really bad with my javelin. Other days I seem to get lucky. Sometimes I have to know when to switch my weapon. Like, it's kind of funny. Some days I'm good with the polearm. Some days I swing and I miss every single hit. Same thing with the javelin. Some days I'm on, some days I'm off. What I need to start doing is, once I realize I've missed 10 or 20 shots, it's time to switch. Nice, look at that. Ooh. Ooh, a couple lucky ones. Yeah, this is pretty much over for them. What I'm gonna do is just start sending in the infantry. Just gonna finish this. Gonna tell them all to charge, send the infantry first, and then send the cavalry. I use a controller when I play, so sometimes using the RTS is a little tricky. I'm still getting used to it. Basically, you gotta switch to the keyboard is the only option with that. Once again, the Fellowship Assassin, I gotta see what item they got. So, let's see here. Just gonna cherry pick a few items. Let's go see if we can make it. It looks like we're gonna lose these castles over here to the Khuzaits. So I think this is where I'm gonna end it. Tune in next time if you enjoy the series. I'm gonna be fighting the Khuzaits over for those other castles I just lost. I think I'm gonna turn the difficulty up to normal, just to see where I stand at this point. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.